When Katrina happened, I actually worked the Sunday before Katrina happened, and I lived next to the lake, and I said, well, I don't want to stay there. I'll go stay at my sister's house, which is about 7 feet off the ground. Now, unfortunately, with the counterflow, everybody was leaving the city, and we couldn't get the mules out, so we had to wait actually 2 weeks after Katrina, get a special permission because this city was under martial law. Get a huge trailer plus our 3 other trailers and get all of our 35 to 40 mules out at one time. Now, my boyfriend at that time, Aaron, who actually does the maintenance here on the carriages, he and I had to come down Esplanade Avenue and cut trees down to get down here to help them get these mules out of here. Matter of fact, Tom Naglin, one of our carriage drivers, who is a retired Navy commander, had contacted the Coast Guard, and we also put on top of the roof up here and on our carriages, please drop water to save our 37 mules. And that's basically how we got water to them, because we couldn't use the water in the city because it was flooded everywhere. And we got the mules out, and then we came back to work about 6 weeks after Katrina. We were basically shuttling people all over the place, because gas? What was gas? There was no gasoline in the city. We were it. We're back in the 19th century again with the mules, taking people through the Red Cross line, taking people to get food, and going through the Salvation Army. Basically, we were your cab service back in the day. And so it was pretty isolated. There was no birds, no insect sounds here, but we did what we could do to get our mules and get them exercise. We had 35 drivers, and out of the 35 drivers, 7 had homes left. Now there's about 3 drivers left here from the original crew before Katrina.
So what was the city like when you first came back? Like, what was your impression of the city?
Oh, impression of the city. There were still a lot of flooded streets out in here. The expression of the city was hoping to God that it's going to come back. We all came together. We worked together as a team. We had a lot of volunteers here from churches, and what really also brought the city back together was the Saints. They were talking about the Saints going to San Antonio. They played a couple games over there, but as soon as we heard that they were going to take our team away from us, we all got together. And let me tell you, when Green Day came down there and was singing their song, and we played the Falcons, I mean, I'm still getting goosebumps right now. Of how it brought the city back together during that time. And it took a long time for us to come back. I mean, there were times where, the news crews were out here saying that we were still flooded 4, 5, 7 months after Katrina. So us being joking around, what we could do, we put swim floaties on the shafts and on the mules when we were driving around, and it was pretty isolated. It was very, very isolated. But New Orleans is strong, and we pull together in scenes like this, and we help each other out, and this company came back bigger and better and stronger.
So when you were shuttling people around, that was in the French Quarter?
That was in the French Quarter, it was in the Marigny, we were going through the Tremé, we were going through Red Cross lines, picking up MREs, 6, 7 people on a big stretch and doing things. We'd even take people to the grocery store, anything to get our mules a little exercise. And we also talked to first responders that came in from all over the world, and they did a tour too as well. So it was, it's not you're going to make money off of it, put it that way, but we did get the mules out and a little exposure. We actually had people that would come down and hire the mules, and we had a buggy trail, about 7 or 8 mules driving out here, and people were actually asking us can we take them over by the Tremé and see if their house is still there, and it was there's certain areas at nighttime it was a curfew, so you had to get off the street at a particular time. So yeah, it was like just a couple days a week. We weren't doing it full time or anything of the sort like that.
Just getting out and about.
Getting out and about.
Doing something other than thinking.
Then being depressed at home and what am I going to do and all that stuff like that. We get together. I mean, I remember when we were driving back. This is before we came back. We were still at the lakefront, and where there were roads, now we're driving our boat down Robert E. Lee Boulevard, and here comes a sheephead swimming up the way, completely confused. Where are we at, And we actually, didn't have water, but my next door neighbor had a pool, and that's what we bathed in for 2 or 3 weeks before we could, come back. And it, people were going to the Superdome, the convention center, and I didn't want to hang out on the interstate. So what I did was, we had some neighbors of ours had got a boat, and we went across Lake Pontchartrain, and that's how we escaped. My boyfriend stayed here, and my kids didn't know if I was alive or dead. They were in boarding school at that time. So that's how we got out and contacted my daughter. My biggest thing with my son was, because he was going to boarding school in Bay St. Louis, where the eye of the storm went, his main thing, all he wanted for his birthday was to be in air conditioned, not have to clean up the yard, and get some Mexican food. That's what he wanted, and that's what he got on his birthday on the 10th.
What month?
September 10th.